Okay. All right, video 3. Yes, our thoughts have everything to do with what's going on. Our perceptions has everything in the world to do with being able to change this planet. By our focus, just like Drenvalo Melchizedek, if you read some of his materials, he was talking about actually here in Phoenix was where he was testing these devices that were mechanical devices that could clear up the pollution in this area and clear up the chemtrails and other atmospheric contaminants in this particular area. That's a mechanical device doing that. But what I'm trying to point out to you is you don't have to use mechanical devices if we're all coming together and participating in unified focuses. How all the end times energies got started began with the harmonic convergence. There were 144,000 people minimum in 1987 that came together on the various chakra points around the planet in a unified group focus to attune or atone the planet, to attune it. And just after then, the Berlin Wall fell, China opened up, the Soviet Union collapsed. All those things happened because that was part of our focus, unifying the planet, raising the frequencies of the planet, attuning, atoning the planet. Then it took another 144,000 of us that were called for opening the 1111 doorway in 1992. Again, we were at the chakra points all over the planet, and the focus was to create the vortex between the planet all the way to the galactic center, which allowed the higher frequencies and the light to come in. It is all about raising the frequency of the planet. First, you attune it, atone it, we balance, we connect with each other in our energy fields, and then you start raising the frequency. That's how Ascension begins. I've discussed in past videos about how the frequencies increased that allowed us to take higher and higher chakra downloads, higher and higher initiations, because that's what it is. That's activation of chakras is initiations, and the planet has to be at a certain frequency for you to be able to make these activations and remain on the planet. So I've explained all that in previous videos. Now, Cryon at a channeling to the United Nations back in 2007, I believe it was talking about the next group of 144,000, which occurs right now in 2012. And he said there'd be at least 144,000 people on the planet who's chakra activated, who's gone through the ascension process. And I believe there's a lot more than that. That's a minimum number. It's not there's a magical number that is attributed to that numbers, and that's a whole another series of videos to even begin discussing that. If you God, this could go on forever trying to explain everything. The easiest thing is just activate your chakras and ask the questions to the field and receive your answers. Don't get them from me, get them for yourself. That's all I'm trying to do in these videos is teach you how to do it yourself. And I believe that everybody who needs this information will find it. So anyway, these past days when I posted the videos, there's a lot of people that got upset. And of course, I ticked off the Illuminati too, because I'm empowering people by telling them how to do what I've done and what so many of us are doing. And the Illuminati doesn't want that. In 2011, after Fukushima, within a day or so, started realizing, because of Michael Janich, her Dutch sense, that we could actually see HAARP being used via satellite, and I had not recognized that before. And I had been following HAARP with the earthquakes since the Sichuan earthquake in 2008, and noticing that we had 10-kilometer deep earthquakes that were occurring just before all these major earthquakes going down. And when we had those 10-kilometer deep earthquakes that I was feeling was HAARP generated, and as other people were showing the HAARP magnetometers, and then other people were showing the energy fields around HAARP being activated, and some people were doing their studies with the ionosphere and showing that the atmosphere was heating up above these sites, and then people that were there experiencing the earthquake on the ground were doing videos and could actually see the clouds lighting up and having that rainbow colored effect that is occurring as the frequencies are being bounced back down to Earth, and then hitting their points where they create the resonant frequency, which happens to be about 10 kilometers deep, and that sets that's like a primer in explosive. You set the primer that happens to be over the tectonic plate area that has the most stress in it, and you set that primer off to set off the main charge. And that's basically what they're doing with HAARP, is they're creating these earthquakes that through using the ultra low vibrations happens to hit a certain depth, and then it sets off the main charge farther below. Anyway, I was finally, because of Dutch Sense's videos, I realized that we can actually watch HAARP via satellite. And so all of us started turning on and doing that expose right around that time, and that's when the attacks really began. I got hit with a virus, I mean, within seconds of uploading my HAARP information and pictures and stuff that I had gathered. And I even took pictures of getting the virus attack just after I uploaded the pictures. We're being watched. They're watching these videos, you know. CIA, yeah, they're on Facebook, but you know, they got to get the good information, the real information, the true information from somebody. So they watch us who's doing our exposés. So it's not a bad thing, but yeah, you got the Air Force that's got their cyber warfare teams because they consider those of us that are telling the truth being the terrorists, which we're not the terrorists. It's the guys doing this that are the terrorists, and that's the guys that are causing this cyber warfare. And so anyway, I'm used to the attacks. I've been attacked many times. I just have to format my computer and set everything back up and go again. And so they hit me really hard this past weekend, and several of my friends that are on Facebook and their various groups didn't appreciate me stepping on their toes by posting these videos also. And all I'm saying, people, is this is the real truth, and you know, we create our illusion. It doesn't matter, you know, if you can't get it right now or not. It's not going to make it any more or less true. It's a reality. But do you want to consciously create the illusion around you? And if we all wake up and begin our activation process, which is the levels of awakening you see going on and the 3 waves of ascension, the first of us are already ascended. When you activate your heart chakra, that's ascending. Now, you've got different off-planet dimensional ascensions, or bringing the Earth into a new dimension, which is going to happen. And that depends on the timelines. I mean, the timelines are our individual creations in our own lives. And we have individual creations. We have group creations in our families or with businesses, or we have, you know, in our city or town. And then we have national and global collective manifestations. And what I'm talking about is on a global scale, which really and truly, if you understand the game, it's also on a universal scale, because it's all a reflection, a whole hologram. When we start activating ourselves and understanding the various levels and dimensions and consciously choose to live our lives multi-dimensional, experiencing these, when there's enough people, we're going to shift. What happens is our timelines start merging. Our individual creations that we're doing, our timelines, my personal timeline, your personal timeline, they are merging. And where it was 7 billion, more and more of us that are in the unity grid, we're merging into a singular timeline there, unity, one. And we still have many, many more people out there that are in their individual timelines. They don't yet understand the reality. They haven't yet activated. They will, because everybody's here too. That's what this time's all about. But it's going to take 3 waves, and where those of us that are activated now stepped up and are amplifying our fields and joining our focused thought together and touching the unity grid that really is only recently manifested and become quite apparent to so many of us. We're all getting the same messages. We all say the same things at the same times when you are doing your explorations of who's all saying what. And those of us that are saying the same things at the same times, are doing so because we're connected to the unity grid, because we've learned how to touch that singular focused thought that we're going into, although we're still experiencing our individual lives. There'll be 2 more waves, and what happened is the scepters got passed between the first wave and the second wave, and a lot of those people that are now in these groups trying to expose and tell the world what's going on, and they're still playing off in their ego. They haven't activated yet, and they're at that point where they're out of the denial of the awakening, which is number 1. They're into the fear, going, oh shit, it's really happening, and they're in that, and then into the third stage, which is the activism. They are still embodying ego and feeling self-important, and about writing their books and getting them out there, making money for their material things, and are trying to gather people up and go, follow me over the hill, I'm leading the charge. This time's all about individual mastery. There's nobody to follow. That's the secret. Shh. There's nobody to follow except yourself. You're the master. Shh. Don't tell anybody. And so it's just different levels of realizations and perceptions. And these guys that are just now getting to that have taken the scepters, and they're trying to lead the charge on the expose. That the Illuminati's trying to take out 95% of the planetary population. Well, yeah, that's the truth. But then that's what these end times are all about. And so learning your mastery. And it takes us coming to that extinction event, which right now we've got 3 of them. We got the Gulf of Mexico. That's going to poison the planetary waters. We've got the North Sea, which is going to do the same thing. That's pretty intense what's going on in the North Sea, 10 times worse than the Gulf oil spill, which the whole seabed is contaminated or compromised now, and there's big bubbles of oil. Boop, boop. People are flying over and filming. And then we got Fukushima, which that is a big one, peeps. But we can change it all. We can shift it. And we're getting ready to come up to the switch to video 3. So I'm going to keep it on this level, and then we'll switch into another gear here in video number 4 coming up. Yeah, it takes having everybody on planet realize, damn, I'm dead, to start perceiving things in a different way and seeing it from the side of spirit. And there's no way we can solve these problems with the technology that we have. And so that is why I make these videos on thought matter manifestation. Here we go. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.